The paper we're launching together today is part of a global multi-stakeholder effort to drive achievement of SDGs through the development of an enabling ecosystem for purpose-driven businesses. For those joining this conversation for the first time, purpose-driven, also referred as for benefits, are hybrid business models with primary purpose of delivering social and environmental benefits, like governments and nonprofits do, while relying on market-based approaches to generate their incomes, like for-profits. They constitute the fourth sector of the economy that is emerging at the intersection point of the three traditional sectors: public, private, and nonprofit.
And I think the paper that is presented now is a very important reference to precisely see how we can shape, through public policy, to shape the market and the environment to allow firms to adapt to something that is a clear market trend. So it's not only that it's a purpose-driven type of businesses, or in the most comprehensive case, SDG-oriented, but it's also a market trend. So in some cases, businesses are constrained by the context to respond to that market trend. And I think the role of governments is to shape that.
We were an early promoter and believer in the SDGs and of the idea of a fourth sector that could thrive and grow exponentially if it was given the right support. And through our contribution to this work that was small, it demonstrates the important role that philanthropy can play in giving catalytic patient capital to leverage much bigger changes by others. We all know market forces can be positive or negative. The challenge before us in the philanthropy community is to foster nodes of positive change within large, complex ecosystems. So the positive trends are amplified and enlightened leaders are really encouraged to keep moving. Philanthropy can scale up funding to support the kinds of organizations and networks and movement building that are essential to building a purpose-first economy.
This idea of the fourth sector has fundamentally emerged from a citizen's concern. And so it has been the citizens who have increasingly shown awareness of how environmental, social, and economic issues are balanced in the private sector, and who initially shaped the fourth sector. It's very important to understand this because the support for this idea is very widespread. And I think that many of the Latin American countries and in our Ibero-American space are going for new laws for the for-purpose sector to try to really build this ecosystem. And I think that we have 11 countries that are discussing laws and legal frameworks for this to flourish. And I think that it's our duty to support this effort and try really to seize this opportunity to make it happen.
COVID-19 has shown us some of the big systemic issues that we have. It's highlighted them in a way that we've never seen before. And I think that we've also seen some innovation, and we've seen people becoming aware of these big issues and willing to take a step forward. This paper and the work that you're doing and the work being done on the panel is an example of that.
A model that says the state shall govern, business shall generate profits, the social sector shall advocate, and we shall all, through some form of contestation, come out in a good place, is not sufficient for this moment of urgency. You need new models that seize the moment, seize the alignment among the public, both around addressing this crisis, but also now beginning to get to a universal recognition of the future crisis. I can't think of another scalable model other than a fourth sector approach that builds on market mechanisms to both learn and understand, but also to generate resources, but yet is driven by a specific and declared purpose.
That the old divisions between government, business, civil society have been shown to be rather nonsensical through our experience over the last few months. And I think we have to build systems that ultimately reward businesses and harness the ingenuity of the private sector that we've seen throughout the crisis in a way that delivers not only profit, but also social and environmental impact. But ultimately, if we want change at scale, we need policy change and policy frameworks that provide the right its incentives across the board. And I think in today's report, you've set out a truly remarkable and clear roadmap for that. And I only hope that governments and international organizations take heed of it.
Let's take the launch of this paper as an invitation for a dialogue, for collaboration, and to build together this new pathway for a better world for everyone.